It's the factor. Conscience, consequence, and punishments. They form an invisible system that work together to keep us aligned with truth and peace. Most of us are all too familiar with the devil on the left, angel on the right that whispers to you to do good and evil. But in Islam, it's two angels, one on each side. The right writing your good deeds, the left writing your bad. You do not have a personal assigned devil whispering to you to do evil. Neither do you need an angel to tell you what's right because you have a conscience. It's hard to define what the conscience is. But don't you think it's interesting how every one of us, no matter where we're from, what we believe, how we grew up, we have this inbuilt awareness of what's right and wrong. It's not something we adopt from our parents or learn from society, at least not at first. I see conscience as a moral signal within us that calls our attention whenever there's a perceived moral imbalance. Even as a child, you know right from wrong. It's in the hesitation before taking something that isn't yours, the quick glance to see if someone's watching, and the racing heartbeats. As we grow older, however, this baseline moral equilibrium gets shaped by our beliefs, experiences, and our environment. A person brought up with a violent ideology might not see violence, abuse as a contradiction with their foundational morality because that moral muscle has been distorted from years of such training. And that's the tragedy of the human condition. Our conscience can be dulled. Just like your body has ways of warning you when something is off. Hunger when you need food, thirst when you need water, pain when you're hurt. Your soul has its signal. That signal is the conscience. Every time you do something you know is wrong, it speaks up. Sometimes it's a whisper, sometimes it's a weight on your chest. But if you ignore the signal long enough, it fades. And every time you ignore and it fades, it becomes quieter, muffled, almost imperceptible until you stop hearing it eventually. Put your hand over a fire, step on a nail. That immediate pain that causes you to pull back is saving your life. Pain is your body's way of letting you know that something is wrong in the body somewhere. Pay attention, fix this. If you felt no pain, you wouldn't know when your body's out of order. You'd burn, bleed, or break something and never realize it until it's too late. Your body can be dying quietly while you feel perfectly fine. That's exactly how the conscience works. It's the pain of the soul. When we ignore it, we are losing the very mechanism that keeps our soul aligned and healthy. When you dull it so much that you cannot hear it anymore, you're numbing the parts of yourself that's meant to tell you when something is wrong. But here's the thing, when you've silenced your conscience so much so that you don't feel burdened when you do something wrong, or you make the wrong choices, or you do terrible things, it doesn't weigh on your mind. So you think, surely I mustn't be doing anything wrong. Oh no, you'll still be held accountable. You can turn away from your conscience, but you cannot turn away from the consequences of what you've done. Every action has consequences. We usually say this to someone who's about to make a poor decision. Be careful, you're gonna pay the price. As if to say consequence is a bad thing or a negative thing. In reality, consequences are not negative. They are simply the natural unfolding of reactions that follow your actions. It's not good or bad. If your actions are kind, honest, and grounded, the natural reactions that follow that will reflect it. And if your actions are deceptive, careless, or selfish, the reactions that come will reflect that too. Both are consequences. We call the pleasant one rewards and the unpleasant ones consequences or punishments. Our ability to make choices is one of the most powerful things about being human. It's central to our existence and flourishing. So to make the most of this ability to make as best a choice as we can, we're blessed with two things. One, our mind. It allows for critical thinking and awareness. And two, conscience. The conscience helps us to make better choices by signaling to us when our actions or intended course of action does not align with our foundational moral equilibrium. You can think of it like this. When you walk on a broken leg, there's pain because your body is signaling to you to stop. You need to let the leg heal before you walk on it, or you cause more damage. It's the same with the conscience. That uneasy feeling signals to you when you're about to cross a moral boundary. But if you keep walking that path anyway, or worse, you've muffled the conscience so much so that you can't hear it anymore. You invite heavier consequences. You keep walking on that leg, pretending the pain does not exist. You'll tear what could have healed. You might even lose the leg. You risk ruining yourself. A child breaks a plate and hides it from his mother. He fears a reaction, disappointment, a scolding, whatever the consequences may be. But as the hours go by, there is now a tiny part of him that hopes she finds out. Because even though punishment feels painful, facing it means freedom. It ends the guilt, restores honesty, and allows him to go back to being a happy kid. It's the same with us. You tell one lie, and instead of stopping there, you tell another to cover it up. Then you forge something or twist another story. All these to keep the truth hidden. And before you know it, you're digging yourself deeper and deeper into the same hole. The longer you ignore your conscience, the louder the consequences become. What could have been a small correction becomes a full-blown downfall. Listening to your conscience, even when it hurts, even when it feels like you're far too gone, is what saves you. Because no matter how far you've gone, no matter how far you've fallen, hell always has another floor. Punishment is what consequence feels like when awareness finally finds you. When the weight of what you've done lands on you, that moment, painful as it is, pulls you back into awareness. It confronts you with the truth, forces you to stop and reflect, to see what your conscience tried to show you all along. You keep digging yourself into a pit, thinking you're escaping, but really you're just burying yourself. Punishment pulls you out of that hole and brings you into the light. It interrupts the pattern and forces you to face what you've done before it destroys you. In that sense, punishment becomes a form of freedom. The freedom to stop pretending, to realign your soul with truth. It gives the guilty person a way to live with themselves again. It's the soul's way of paying its debt so it can move freely again. That's why those who face their punishment often come out wiser, softer, and more at peace. So when I talk about punishment, I don't mean someone standing over you with authority. It's simply the echo of our actions and truth doing what truth does best, setting you free. Each one, conscience, consequence, punishment, is a different language of truth. Conscience speaks first, softly, as a quiet unease. It gives us a chance to turn back before the fall. When we ignore it, consequence steps in, teaching us through experience what we refuse to see. And when we still resist, punishment comes to tear down our illusions so truth can breathe again. Together, they form a cycle that restores balance and peace, no matter how far we've fallen. Remember, every one of us will face the echo of our own actions. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out other videos in the catalog. You might just find something that speaks to you. Until next time, my name is Mariam Fad.